Now, are you able to see the screen? Hello.
Proceed, proceed,
Okay.
proceed.
Good afternoon. Today we'll see that cyclic voltammetry, how we are using and what is the use of that cyclic voltammetry. Um, so we usually represent the CV as a cyclic voltammetry. It's a electrochemical technique used. Uh, it was very useful actually if you are doing a electrochemical any type of electrochemistry. So it basically measure the current response from the redox active solution actually. So we know that redox means it's a reduction, it's a gain of electron, oxidation, it's a loss of electron. So actually, this by finding the cyclic voltammetry, it's the electrochemistry people got two Nobel prizes. Firstly, they got in 1922. They found as a polarography. From that, they try to find the uh, voltammetry. So voltammetry is just a linear sweep of voltage from a particular voltage with some range. So after that, they extended that one as a cyclic voltammetry. Uh, it's like repeating that voltammetry experiment for multiple times to find the experiment, how the experiments behaves actually. So coming on to that working of that um, cyclovoltammetry. So it's like other electrochemical experiments. It need a three electrode systems. Upcoming slides, we will see that why we need a three electrode system. So we have to connect the three electrode system with the potentiostat. So we have a electrochemical workstation, and in that we use a potentiostat part. Uh, so once we connected, we use the potentiostat to sweep the voltage from working electrode to the reference electrode. So we'll set some limit actually. So with that limit, we'll try to measure the maintain the sweep the potential from working electrode to the reference electrode. So initially we have to set that what is the starting potential and then end potential. So actually, we once we are setting up, we can take it as a uh, two quadrant upper four quadrant like the one and two quadrant will be a upper part, and then three and four will be a lower part. So in that we have to start from the 0.5 5 volt. So it is a some kind of a limit I am setting, so we can change also actually. So up to so since it is upper vertex, we have to start from the positive side. So once we started, it will go down actually. So zero point 0.4, zero point 0.3 like that, and then it will go to the negative axis. So by sweeping that voltage, it simultaneously measure the current actually. From that, we'll get a curve like this. It's they call it as a duck-shaped curve. So this one is a actual CV cyclovoltammetric graph actually. For cyclovoltammetry, we'll repeat this one for multiple times in order to find the reaction, how it is going on. So sometimes what happens, so we have a electrolyte, this electrolyte some may go bad. So because of that low pH or high pH conditions, so in order to find that this we have to this experiment is carried out for longer time or for short time, we can find those information from the graph itself. So mostly this cyclovoltammetry used in uh, three applications like a sensing, like glucose reduction, like this reduction, and electrochemical deposition. So if you want to do a electro deposition, so depending upon the what kind of a electrolyte you have, Uh, so you have two components for the anions and cations. So you want to deposit on our working electrodes. From the CV only, we can fix it, which potential we want to work it out, uh, and then we can start actually. So and the another part is supercapacitor. From the CV, we'll get the information like if you are making a device, supercapacitor device, and if you are running a CV for that particular device, you will get a CV graph, kind of a rectangular graph. From that, you can measure the specific capacitance. So from the specific capacitance, you can say about how good is your supercapacitor. Like that. Information will get it. So as I told you that we are using a three electrode system. So actually we have a question that why we need a three electrode system, because since it is a electrochemical setup, so most of them it will be in a solution forms. So it's very difficult to maintain the potential. Okay, so every time it's like a if you are repeating repeating the experiment itself for 2 3 times, so you have to maintain the distance between the working electrode and the counter electrode. If you have a two electrode system, so it will be very difficult actually. Every time you can maintain the same distance. And one more thing is that uh, so if you are measuring a current, so I told you that if you are applying a voltage and simultaneously we are measuring the current. So if you put a one more device like a hum meter, so it will destroy the working electrode, because you are including the one more component. So it will produce some more uh, uh, reactance to that our experiment. So it will we will not get the actual experiment. So we have to do the uh, you have to do the CV in three electrode systems. So the importance of the three electrode system is to maintain the potential and measure the balance current between the working and counter electrode. So what principle it's working means it's basically measuring the current that generated between the redox couples and the electrode. So this is a CV graph. Uh, you can see that. So the upper one is a oxidation potential, and the lower one is a uh, negative potential as a redox potential. You can much more. It will this one will be very clear actually. So this upper part we'll take it as a EP. EP is EP is means oxidation potential, and down one is a reduction potential, and this one we can measure as a uh, vertical one. We can measure it as a current, how much current is involved actually. So this current transfer between that working and counter electrode generate sorry this electron transfer between that working and counter electrode generate that current. That is in the solution. It will be in the form of diffusion or migration of the ions. So the solution contains some kind of ions. From that, this electron movement is transfer is happening. So this transfer of electron we call it as a current. So application, it's like from the CV we'll get different results. It depends upon the what kind of experiment we are setting up. If you are measuring a voltage with respect to time, it will be like we'll get a charge discharge curve. We will get it actually. So this both are same actually. Okay. So we are varying the potential and measuring the current. So depending upon the curve actually. Okay. If it is a double layer capacitance like a carbon things. So what will happen? So at certain potential, it will able to charge it, able to charge. So it will not release the current actually. After it will go to the lower potential only, it will able to lose. So in that case, you will get a kind of a parallelogram. From that, you can say that it behaving like a capacitance. Uh, this is a set of uh, CV graph for finding the capacitance for a supercapacitor device or battery like that. And then for pseudo capacitance and any other experiments, will again we'll get a duck shaped curve. So from that we can find that what is the actual redox potential, and then uh, redox redox potential means oxidation peak and reduction peak. So basically, so these two are same, but if you are getting a uh, parallelogram like a graph, it is a double layer capacitance, and if it is like a duck shaped, then you call it as a pseudo capacitance. And one more thing is, we usually conduct this experiment to verify that this reaction is reversible or irreversible like this. So initially we don't know the actually what potential we can the redox reaction is happening, or oxidation is happening. So we'll make a solution, and then we'll try with the standard electrode. What standard electrode? From that we can conclude that what kind of a behavior it is, a reversible or irreversible. So we can easily find this ERED is redox potential, and EOX is oxidation potential. If these two are very close, then we can call it this one is maybe that reversible condition. So if it is somewhat far away, so it's like you can see it here, this nose, duck nose is very sharp, means it will be a reversible, whereas in quartz irreversible condition will be somewhat broader. Okay. And irreversible condition, it's very difficult to find the redox potential. So can easily identify that we cannot uh, this solution cannot be a reversible reactions. So actually, how we are setting up it's like we have a Autolab system. So, but there are many other electrochemical workstation like Gambri, like that system is there. But whatever systems, that the condition will be the same. The first we have to set it up the starting potential, and then upper vertex limit you have to set, and lower vertex limit you have to set, and then this both should be same actually, starting potential and then stop potential. But this one is very important actually. Okay. So number of scans should be at least minimum 3. So because that whatever the graph you are getting at the first one, so first actually that it try to disturb that system, actually to perturbate the system, so you will not get the same graph. So we have to take the reading from the second and third graph actually. We can see, so once we are done with that experiment, you can see that there is a slight change actually. So this one is the first one, and whereas that second and third one are much more similar actually. So the first case, it try to perturbate the system, so there will be a fluctuation will be there. So after that we will get a more or less a similar gap. So as I told you earlier, so we can see the two peak here actually. Okay. So so we can see it in uh, here actually in origin plot. So this one I conducted for MOS2. I try to deposit a MOS2 on a TaO2. So initially I don't know the redox potential. So what I did, I taken a solution, MOS2 solution. So polythio moleculate solutions. Uh, so I have taken a solution like this, and then my working electrode is a TaO2 nanotube. So I inserted here like in this fashion, and then I conducted a CV and repeated for three times. So from that I can find that this reduction potential here actually is somewhat like one minus 1 volt, and the oxidation potential is somewhat zero zero volt. So I want to deposit a MOS2 here. So so what I have to do, so in order to deposit the MOS2 here, so I have to fix this potential, this reduction potential minus 1 volt. then only I can find some memos to attach here actually. Okay, so this is one of the example. We can use it in our lab. So you can see the capacitance behaviors, and some of my senior actually tried this part actually. Okay, so this TiO2 it's a nanotube, so it have a tubular structure. So the charge will be try to um, and charge will be accumulate on two sides, so it will have a capacitive behaviors, and then in that case we will get a parallelogram kind of a graph. That's it. Do you have any questions?
Okay, fine. We can do one thing. We can download that Voco screen recorder and install it in our lab computer. You can copy and then install it. Then we can conduct this experiment and record it.
Oh, okay.
So we can we need we have to uh, record the experimental system first, what we are making, how we are making the experiments, how we are preparing the solution. Friday, if you have time, we can full day we can work on and try to make a video. First part is preparing the solution, electrical cell, etc. Then Voco screen recorder can be installed, so we can screen record the real software and where we are clicking, how what values we are entering. Then we can explain how to work with that software. And run the cyclic voltammetry experiment. Only cyclic voltammetry experiment we are doing. As he told, we get three different standard measurements. One is for capacitor, another is for pseudo capacitor, and third one is for batteries. Battery, you can see it has always a oxidation and reduction that will continuously happening. So you will get two peaks in the cyclic voltammetry curve. But capacitance means there is no oxidation reduction reaction. It is a capacitor is a physical system. You know, it is storing energy in the electric field. So no reduction and oxidation reaction happening in that. So you won't see any peaks in that, only a parallelogram you will get. So the if you're getting a parallelogram, that is sure that you are getting a electric double layer capacitor. But in some case, the system has some double layer capacitance plus oxidation reduction. Both are there in some systems. That is called a pseudo capacitor. So you won't get a peak like that in the case of battery, but you can see a graph, something in between these two curves. So that will give you a pseudo capacitance effect. Also, charging discharging curve, also you can study there whether it is a symmetric behavior or asymmetric behavior. So a lot of information you get from this simple experiment. That is advantage. We will try to record video with preparation of cells and its measurement. Maybe Friday we can spend time. You have any other things to do on Friday? Will you be available here? I will assign and I will forget,
Yes,
but
sir. I will
you
be
should
available.
remind me in the morning and we will do. If we say we dedicate
Okay.
completely full day for recording, I have another camera also. I brought a camera. I have to charge it. Okay, clear
Usually
item.
afternoon I will do the experiment every day
Okay,
afternoon.
so that's not a problem. If we
So
want to do recording, we should dedicate the complete day for it. And if it is
okay,
early,
sir. Then I
finishing
will go.
early, you can do
Saturday I
your
will.
regular experiment. Hmm? Otherwise,
Saturday I
we
will
will
try to
finish
record.
it.
No disturbance.
Okay, but uh, we will do together because two people should work together. Then only recording will come properly. Uh, so first part,
Oh,
preparation of electrochemical cell. Second part is its measurement, cyclic voltammetric measurement. So in the lab we can do this both. Yes, I have to make my camera also ready for that. Where I put the charger of the camera. It was, this will give better, I think, better than mobile. Okay, okay, fine. But you should remind me.
okay.
Saturday we are dedicating for that completely for this experiment. Full day we will dedicate for that experiment and
Oh,
make everything more clear. Hmm? So that experiment must be completely clear. What practically we are doing. This is a theoretical explanation of the cyclic voltammetry, how important this experiment for understanding a storage device, and also for making an electrodeposition of materials. So a characterization of your storage device and electrodeposition, that is also an electrochemical cell. So it's basically characterizing an electrochemical cell. That's the thing. And it can be used for both understanding the deposition condition, also the behavior of your device. Okay, that's all.